So moving on to the awards, let's get this party started. Are we ready to find out which finalist won what in 2015 and see some awesome work and hear why? Woo! Yes. Great. So we're going to start with student. The criteria for student projects was that it must be a current or recent student, and the actual project must have been a student project. And for much of the awards, we will be bringing people up individually. But for these first awards, we're going to award 2 people at the same time in groups of 2. So, getting started here, we've got student honorable mention going to Kat Velos for Know It All, the easiest way to find workshops in the Bay. So Kat, please come up. Kat, you can stand beside me while your video plays.
The Bay Area has tons of amazing classes and workshops, but getting the details can take a ton of time. I wanted to know how I could make that better. Thousands of users are affected by this, and competitors aren't doing enough to meet their needs. So I interviewed and surveyed users to find out what was most important to them. I created personas to classify user groups and build empathy for their goals and pain points, and I designed an app called Know It All to meet their needs. 5 iterations were designed and user tested to get maximum function into the fewest screens. The final version rocked in usability, and here's a peek at what it can do. Welcome to Know It All, the easiest way to find workshops in the Bay. When you open the app, you can start with a search if you know exactly what you're looking for, browse through a mix of business and recreational workshop categories, or get started by filtering it so that Know It All knows exactly what you want to know and saves you a lot of time by doing the search for you. You can tell it how much you're willing to spend, when you're available, how far you're willing to go. And Know It All will keep you in the know by sending you an alert whenever a new listing is added to one of your favorite categories, but it's pretty easy to turn that off. And within any category listing, you can sort by price, date, distance, and what's hot. And let's go ahead and get you signed up here for a class like this bread one. When you save something to your favorites, Know It All will convert it to a to-do list with helpful reminders to make sure that you don't miss out or don't forget to get registered in time. The listings also tell you what's required in terms of signing up and any other classes you might be interested in that are similar. And let's get you signed up for another one here. This one's free. Add that to your faves. And again, your to-do list here, when you check these off, will be archived in your completed classes so that you can keep track of your progress. And in your account, you have total control over how often you get notified about new listings and reminders to do your favorites, which look like this. And when you check those new listings out, the light bulb converts to a number. You can find those in the list pretty easy, and that's how Know It All works.
Great. So Kat, if you wouldn't mind standing here while we bring up the best student submission, and then we'll award both of you, which goes to Aibi, an Anaphylaxis prevention system for children. So come on up, Daniel Galán.
Anaphylaxis. It stands for severe allergic reaction. Foods, medicine, animals, many things trigger allergies. In the United States, about 6 million children suffer from food allergies. That's 2 children per school classroom. 1 in 4 of those children will have their first anaphylaxis at school, but over 50% of schools don't have a full-time nurse. Still, allergies are the second most critical emergency. Every 6 minutes, a child arrives at a hospital or emergency unit because of allergies. Allergies can quickly become fatal. The Aibi team decided to find a solution to allergy emergency response in the school setting. We learned as much as we could about allergies and listened to school staff, children with allergies, and their parents. We worked hard to find a solution that addresses the needs of understaffed nurses, school staff, and allergic children. Our first attempt was focused at helping understaffed nurses to better train school staff to respond to allergic reactions. But we quickly understood that no amount of training is helpful if one doesn't know when and where it is vitally needed. Testing and iterations led us to conceptualize an allergy alert system that interconnects school children with the responders. By measuring histamine levels, blood pressure, and sweat, it can be determined if a child is having an allergic reaction. The Aibi app is layered on top of the mobile emergency alert infrastructure to alert the school staff about allergic emergencies and give timely indications. When the Aibi injector receives an allergy alert, it'll sound an alarm and flash a red light to alert passerbys while making it easy for responders to locate it. The Aibi medicine applicators can be installed in a public access network analogous to defibrillators. A product like Aibi would be a great solution to address the needs of understaffed nurses, school staff, and allergic children.
So judges usually make comments about the winners, but for Kat, I am going to make the comment because she was my student at General Assembly, and the judges didn't know that when they selected her, thankfully. So in one 3-month part-time class, Kat successfully transitioned careers into doing UX and is doing great work, and now she's working as a UX designer at Viv Labs. She's going to go far. Congratulations, Kat. Let me give you this. And I believe, Daniel, we've got a beautiful trophy here for you. And I think that Bill has a few comments to say to you.
Well, Daniel used to be a student of mine too, so I think that's why I got to say something. So congratulations. Great work, really thorough and thoughtful, great process. And I think just the solution seemed very smart for today and a very worthy cause. Thanks very much. It was great.
Now we're going to go on to the public voting awards. So unlike the judged awards that you heard about the judging process, our public voting awards are completely separate, and they're judged by the public. And they have a 5-star system. Our 5-star system, as you may have experienced, allows you to vote online for as many projects as you want. It's imperfect, and I received many complaints about it, but it does aim to block fraudulent voting or trying to game the votes. It isn't totally perfect, but it does its job. It's our second year doing crowd voting. And we've got 3 awards this year: most popular, top rated, and the overall people's choice. And we're going to give most popular and top rated together, just like we did with student. So we're going to start with that. So first up, we've got the most popular going to Mobile Majority for their end-to-end mobile advertising system. They had 600 votes. So they definitely know something about digital marketing. So welcome up, Michael Sueka. I don't know if I pronounced your name right, but come on up.
At the Mobile Majority, we created a streamlined solution for executing mobile ad campaigns. In the past, if you wanted to run a mobile campaign, you had to do so using 5 to 12 different platforms across just as many vendors, from ad serving and media placement to audience targeting and measurement. This is because mobile is an incredibly complex ecosystem with countless niche solutions trying to solve each industry problem individually. While these specialized solutions may work by themselves, when cobbled together, they are error-prone and lead to broken, ineffective campaigns.
To find a solution, we first performed contextual interviews and spent days shadowing campaign managers, and actually completed some of their day-to-day tasks. We discovered that every platform was so flexible and complex that you had to take notes. We were facing a typical flexibility versus usability trade-off scenario, so our goals became clear. We needed to create a streamlined platform that gave our users the ability to configure mobile campaigns, but in a way that prevented user error.
To ensure our platform works seamlessly and intuitively, our teams created a pattern library with modular components based on atomic design. Doing so allowed us to maintain consistency in style and functionality across all our products, so that every button, link, and table, for example, have the same look and feel to them.
Since setting up a mobile campaign can be a convoluted process, we default to the most common campaign setups that provide users with intelligent suggestions on what to do next. These implementations prevent user error and increase efficiency when launching and optimizing campaigns. Most of all, we wanted to create a human experience that was easy and forgiving, and designed our error messages with a touch of empathy. By relentlessly studying users, we built the first vertically integrated mobile advertising platform that will finally enable them to quickly create highly effective and engaging mobile campaigns that work.
Okay, so this is going to get crowded because now we're going to bring up top rated as well. So they can stand on this side, hopefully. So that's going to go to Graphic Mint's UX renovation of Zarion Allocate. So come on up, Seamus Byrne. Thank you.
In financial services, there just isn't enough time for supervisors to distribute tasks to personnel. Zarion Allocate needed to adapt to changing financial service processes. Unlike other work allocation software, the new Zarion Allocate is based on fair decisions and is a people-centric product.
In Allocate, we now have a product that has been designed and built around the user experience. Thanks to the intuitive user interface, we find that our target audience can easily understand how the product can be used to drive productivity and also to improve service levels. As a result of this, we find that when we're out talking to people, they're keen to engage with us to understand how they can use the product to allocate work to the right people in the right place at the right time in their organization.
We kicked off the project by opening a revolving door of user and stakeholder feedback. Our research shed light on how supervisors felt overworked and disconnected from their personnel, who sometimes felt undervalued and anonymous.
Graphic Mint quickly understood our vision for how we wanted our customers to engage with our product, and while there are influences in every part of the product, people in Allocate screens are probably where it's best showcased.
Framework design began. In detail design, we created features which addressed user pain points. We humanized the product to reduce anonymity. It created an empathy between supervisors and personnel by simulating face-to-face interactions.
I think it's made it a more personalized product. So the fact that they have pictures in there, it's funny, like our customers have really cotton on that's a good way to get engagement from the supervisors and from the agents as well.
Supervisors now enjoy using the product and can make fair, democratic decisions.
I think it's just made much easier for them to use because everything's just so much more visible and so much more intuitive. Well, I think it's advanced our overall concept of UX and indeed UI. And what we're now trying to do is bring some of the lessons that we learned from the process we went through with Graphic Mint and indeed from what we've built now at Allocate and bring that into our other products so that they can all benefit from that kind of intuitive user interface.
It was great to use interaction design to make a human difference. Graphic Mint. Experience innovation.
First, I think Katie has some comments on Mobile Majority's end-to-end mobile ad platform.
Yes. Well, congratulations, gentlemen. It was a terrific entry, great work with the product, and great work with the video as well. You told a great story and helped us follow along your process and how you derive the insights that would define the design. I also would say that we were very impressed by your ability to make something very complex, simple. You were designing for your whole ecosystem, the various users within that ecosystem, and you thought of each of them and their unique needs and how to find a design that would solve for all of them. You did a great job in leveraging context and progressive disclosure so that you didn't have to fill every page with every little bit of information. And also really enjoyed your attention to detail. I don't know if you guys noticed in watching the video, but the examples that they used, the project was called UX Award Entry or something like this. So they were really considering the end audience, and that they were really considering those details, same down to the notification alert in the human voice and tone that you used with it. It was very thoughtfully considered. Well done, guys.
And for Graphic Mint, I believe that Jennifer has a few comments.
Yes, tremendous work. Really appreciate it. I know making enterprise software sexy is our biggest challenge as designers, and you guys rocked it, so nicely done. Really liked the thoughtful sort of user research and iterative and UX process. And I think you were super successful at figuring out what were those pain points and then really, really bringing those insights to life in the interface. And above and beyond all that, which is always super hard, sort of giving a human aspect and a human face. It's like, you know, any of us know managing big design teams that you get into this like staffing, resourcing mindset, and it becomes about moving pixels or people or names around, and you put a face to it, and you really brought back that human connection and thinking about people's growth patterns and everything that's super important in that. So tremendous job. Thank you. Great entry.
I'd like to give you this certificate.
Thank you.
And feel free to get a book and a bag over on the side.
Okay. Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
And you too get a wonderful certificate. No problem. Moving right along, we've got our People's Choice, top rated, most successful for public voting, and that goes to SAP's Tennis Analytics for SAP Global Sponsorship Technology and Women's Tennis Association. Come on up, Tim Tai.
In a WTA tennis match, players are allowed to call their coaches onto court, but they may only have 90 seconds to do so. The coach's feedback is crucial, as it can change the tide of the match completely. In the past, this conversation was only based on opinions, as the coaches didn't have any tools to support their observations. Today, SAP Tennis Analytics for Coaches provides insights to help players and coaches in real time by translating data from the umpire's scoring of the match and 10 on-court cameras into the tablet application. The coaches and players now have an objective tool that they can mutually trust. With real-time data provided to them at a glance, the coaches will have more time to focus on driving insights to their players more efficiently and effectively. During our design process, we faced two noteworthy opponents. Our first opponent, content. Today, advanced technology may help tennis coaches gain more access to data than ever before. But too much data is just as bad as no data. To overcome this, we started our exploration by talking to our user. We then sketched our design, built the wireframes, and iterated on them until the design became both digestible and insightful. Once the design matured enough to be digitized and viewed on a tablet, we went onto the court with the coaches. We observed the coaches' interaction with the tablet at work and adjusted our design according to their behavior and feedback. We maximized the court real estate on the screen, which is where the coaches focus on the most, and minimized the navigation UIs by moving them to the side of the screen. This way, the coaches can simply use their left and right thumbs to move from screen to screen without taking their eyes or hands off the tablet while analyzing the game. On the court, we found our second opponent, the environment. Tennis is a sport that can be played and viewed under such extreme conditions. Intense sunlight can cause low-contrast screens to become invisible. This caused our early iteration of the app that had a low-contrast color scheme to fail completely when tested under the sun. To make the matter worse, many coaches also tend to wear sunglasses while using the application, which muted the colors and rendered the app nearly useless. To overcome this opponent, we created different modes for both indoor and outdoor viewing, and changed the color scheme to high-contrast, saturated colors to optimize the screen legibility under challenging light conditions. We launched the application in August during the 2015 Bank of the West Classic Tennis Tournament. 70% of the player community tried the app, for both real-time match play and for scouting. This includes Angelique Kerber, world number 11, who also happened to be the tournament winner. We're excited to have come this far, but our journey to improve SAP Tennis Analytics for coaches and elevate women's tennis to the next level is far from over.
And also, I think Alex has a few comments for you.
Oh, yes. So I was somewhat biased on this entry because I was a nationally ranked squash player, and so was my sister, and my mother was a nationally ranked tennis player. And the thing that I really liked about this was the importance of small details and how you can extract decision-making choices from them. And it's these ability, we see it in big data, but this is really this interaction between a player and a coach is really short, important, and tactical. And I must say that when we first looked at the interface, some of the judges didn't like the button colors and the very simple layout. And I think as an industry, it's a really important thing to look at the functionality as almost over the visual display, because your focus in a very few seconds shouldn't go to the beauty of the display in this situation. It needs to go to the ball marks on the screen. I think you guys did a really great job of focusing on what the important data was. And as we simplify things, figuring out how to pull out elements is a really challenging piece, and focus on the right actionable items. Great job.
Thank you. Woo! These are the beginning of our judged awards. And it was, as you saw, really hard to decide between the honorable mentions and the other levels, or for that matter, any of the submissions. We're also going to give these out in pairs. Let's try and do one finalist on this, one honorable mention on this side and one on this side, so that we have an easier to manage. Feng Shui, yes. So the next first honorable mention of 5 will go to CoMeet for the collaborative recruiting. So come on up, Tommy Dickerman.
Despite recruiting being the most collaborative of corporate activities, recruiting technology has been just inaccessible outside of HR. We set out to change this. We started by talking to everyone involved in recruiting, from recruiters and hiring managers to interviewers and executives. Their roles are very different, so we mapped their needs, priorities, and concerns. Early in product design, we realized that the key to maximizing value for both power and light users was to provide tools and know-how to make each person individually better and more productive in their respective recruiting roles. We transformed the Monopoly board into a drag-and-drop hiring workflow. It's a visual process customizable by position or candidate, with single or multiple participants, either in serial or parallel. It is extremely intuitive, so anyone can create or edit a workflow in seconds. We created process automation by making each candidate a task on a team member's to-do list. It's a continual series of handoffs, candidates efficiently progressing from one team member to the next, ensuring accountability. Should this candidate advance, we made these kind of decisions as simple as possible, and it takes just one click for go or no-go. We created dozens of role-specific features. Here's an example. Interviewers asked how we could help them better prepare for interviews, then share their prep work with colleagues. So we created an interface for creating and sharing questions, and following on these questions during the interview. And it works. We see increased engagement with interviewers and standardized interviews, which lead to better hiring decisions. Making CoMeet so visual at every stage and incorporating familiar visual concepts like a board game, to-do list, and play, pause, and stop buttons creates an intuitive and engaging user experience. CoMeet proves that enterprise software can be engaging and fun, and that thoughtful user experience will increase engagement and drive business results.
Thank you, Tomer. So this time we'll do the question before switching over. So, Peter, I believe you have some comments.
Yes, so first I wanted to congratulate you. This was excellent. I've had the misfortune in one way of having 3 jobs in a row where I had to hire a lot of people and use a terrible tool named JobVite in order to assist the recruiting process. I hope they're not a sponsor. So when we saw this entry, I was like, I want that now. I mean, it's solving a very real problem, and I think that's what we gravitated towards in terms of recognizing it, but not just solving a problem, doing it well, doing it elegantly, doing it in that kind of, as you said, kind of drag and drop, very kind of direct manipulation way. And a problem that is wicked complex. I mean, the number of different people involved in hiring one person and all the different departments and all the things they have going on, you know, is not easy to manage. So that actually led to the question that I wanted to ask you, which is, you know, given a hairy problem with all these different stakeholders, How did you know what to tackle first? How did you, I don't know what version that you're kind of showing here of this, but like, how do you stage that experience so that you're not spending 3 years trying to solve the entire problem, but you're putting stuff out there and getting people to use it? Well, tell us a little bit about that experience.
So our advantage as a small startup is that we can iterate really fast, and we come to companies and say, hey, this is our beta product, but it's actually an ongoing process where we can test different approaches to one problem and see what works, and then iterate on that and add as we go. And we worked with these different roles in companies and saw what works.
Excellent. Thank you so much.
And let's talk later.
So next up, our second honorable mention goes to Huge for their mobile makeover of Brazil's most respected newspaper. Come on up, Felipe Lavor.
For years, the leading newspapers in Brazil simply reproduced their printed content in digital. When we joined up with Zarion, our challenge was to develop an entirely new mobile strategy for the paper. We set out to provide users with an experience as enjoyable as reading the print newspaper, enhanced by the power of digital. After understanding reader habits, we designed a front page that allowed users to digitally skim the newspaper. We start by showing users the information we know they'll be looking for, like weather and traffic. Plus, breaking news to help them get their day started. On article pages, the related content that users see depends on where they are in the story. As a user starts reading, we recommend other stories they might like, in case they're looking for something else. At the bottom of the page, we surface more in-depth content so they can dig deeper if they're still interested. Social functionality follows the user down the page so they can easily share content whenever they want. And access to the homepage is always just a swipe away. In the end, people had a lot of good things to say. We worked tirelessly to get the smallest details right, to create the best mobile reading experience imaginable. After the launch, we saw results that exceeded all expectations. An amazing effort and even better partnership. Zarion, writing innovation in Brazil for 140 years.
Woo! Bill, I think you have some comments.
Well, congratulations. We were very excited about this one for the level of content presentation and typography, the attention to detail and craftsmanship. Not only in the design, but in the development as well. And we know that's difficult to achieve sometimes. You're not always in control of that. Sometimes you need to get creative with how you achieve that level of fit and finish. So really enjoyed the sensitivity to the user and to the content. So nice work. Thank you.
Congratulations. So Comit, here's your very large certificate. And feel free to have a book and a bag. And here's yours. Thanks very much.
Thank you.
So our next honorable mention, number 3, will go to SAP Splash for designing better experiences. Come on up, Anna, Laurent. Kaihan, Amir, Diana, Michelle. Got the whole team here.
In this day and age, the user is in charge. They're the ones calling the shots, so it's vital that they are the focus when building products. The importance of user experience has never been so clear. It's user experience that keeps businesses relevant. So, how do you make sure that your own business stays relevant? By designing for the user, of course. Unfortunately, you've probably already realized that there just aren't enough designers to allow you to keep up. At SAP, we've been on a decade-long journey to bring a user-centered, design-led approach to our enterprise software. We understand how to help you make this transition. Introducing SAP Splash. SAP Splash empowers business experts to design awesome apps. Yep, it's a bold claim, but we believe we've made it easy enough for business experts to create applications that make their end users super happy. For business experts who want to deliver immediately, we provide a gallery of inspiration. They can simply pick a project, clone it, and then build upon work already done. For those who want to really understand their users, we provide prototype and validation tools. This allows constant feedback, making our users more mindful of their users. And for business experts hungry for a deeper knowledge of design, we invite them to take advantage of our bite-sized learning material on design methods. So, let's dive into our design process. Since user experience as a service is a new industry topic, our research team thoughtfully guided us in reframing the problem several times so that the final concept is easily conveyed and understood. With SAP Splash, we can all imagine a world where dull enterprise software becomes like consumer apps, intuitive and user-centered.
Congratulations. Katie, I believe you have a comment.
Am I also allowed to ask a question?
A short one.
Okay, sure.
Especially since we're about 20 minutes behind now.
All right. Well, then I'll make it quick. But this is sensational work. Really terrific job. It is an audacious thing you're going after, and we applaud you in that. What you have created here is absolutely looking to solve a problem. Yes, there is a minimum bar in great design that is not met in too many places, and I do think that what you're after can help us all get there and help the companies that don't have design at the ready to get there. I honestly wouldn't have voted for you, nor would many of the folks up on this panel, if you didn't also include the very creative solution that you did, which is also design education. We are at risk of handing away the keys to the tool chest without employing people with the actual understanding of what it is all about. So I applaud you for doing that as well. It was a simple, clean, useful design, well executed on, and it would be exciting to see it out into this world. Great job, guys.
So our fourth honorable mention goes to Method for its Vivi head-mounted display system. So come on up, Karsten Weirville, and we'll watch your video.
As an anaesthetist, what I would do during a long surgical case is obviously keep the patient asleep, but also you're trying to keep the patient stable.
We developed a head-mounted display which puts that data in the clinician's field of view so they can direct more attention towards the patient and less attention trying to see conventional monitor screens.
When things start to go a little bit wrong, say the patient bleeds rather a lot during the surgery and the blood pressure drops, then my job is to notice that immediately, not after a long delay, and treat it quickly.
The thing that we were briefed on was to build an app for a platform like Google Glass. There's a long list of reasons why these don't necessarily solve the problem. Our approach is to begin with the user, not an engineering specification. So when you follow that path, you can end up in a very different place. Vivi is not a pair of glasses. It's a very different kind of product that solves a real problem for real people.
We designed the app, we designed the GUI on the device, we did the industrial design, we did the engineering, we did the gateway device that interfaces with the patient monitor.
We wanted to make sure that the physical device felt comfortable with the application that we were building, and by working on all of the parts concurrently, actually we were able to do that really successfully.
Together, Method and Global Logic offer an end-to-end experience design and development service. Vivi leveraged all of this capability to deliver a solution that truly integrates everything in a single approach. The fact is, we didn't just talk about it, we built it.
Going through the process of naming, we came across Vivi, which is Latin for life, and it felt like it was a really great fit for both the product and what it was doing.
We thought we were onto something useful. It just needed that extra step to be taken.
What we achieved with the project is a high-fidelity prototype. Really what it needs now is clinical testing and more rigorous in-theatre action.
You can't get a better opportunity than creating a product that's going to help save people's lives. And that's all about a real-world, practical problem that matters to human beings when they need it most.
Fabulous. Ian?
So really incredible work, guys. I think we looked at this from a couple of perspectives. One is obviously the complete, looking at the entire product, from the interface, the actual physical product, and the attention to detail that you spent on all of those things. But I think also it's a good example of UX kind of pushing into spaces that historically we might not have been. I mean, healthcare is classically you get people designing the physical product, but you don't really look at the way in which the products fit into the process of managing patient care. And so the idea that UX is sort of involved in that and looking at that as a problem space, and then trying to find a product that would fit that, I think was really compelling. And I think there's clearly more to do in terms of testing and so forth, but in terms of the approach that you took and where you got to, it's really quite impressive. So congratulations.
This is upside down, but here's your large frame certificate, and you can feel free. Here, let me shake your hand. Congratulations, and feel free to get a book and a bag. Thank you. Cheers. And congratulations to you for a great project. Also, book and bag awaits. And we have our final honorable mention right now, going to a local firm, also ITP alums, moving through glass for Mark Morris Group. Come on up, Amos Bloomberg and Craig von Wiederhold.
Parkinson's is a debilitating movement disorder that affects more than 1 million people in the United States, including 50 to 60,000 new people every year. And to date, there is no known cure. That's why SS+K built Moving Through Glass, the first ever augmented reality application that uses wearable technology to provide round-the-clock aid to people living with Parkinson's. It started with a realization within Mark Morris Dance Group's Dance for PD program. The classes, using the training and techniques of professional dance to enhance the balance, power, and coordination of Parkinson's sufferers, were falling short in a critical way. Participants like me needed tools we could take beyond the classroom and into our daily lives. The agency was asked to find a solution. SS+K started with analyses, from classroom methods to available technologies to specialized user needs. Extending Google's Glass platform, they built custom software to maximize performance and simplify user inputs. Then they worked with instructors to distill choreography and music into short, stimulating modules to guide and inspire movement. From seated warm-up and balance building to walking stimulation and restart techniques in case users got stuck. SS+K shot original footage, recorded new music, and then tested with class participants. Finally, Moving Through Glass was presented to leading researchers at the Weill Cornell Medical Center. They requested their own glass for testing and called the application amazing, ingenious, and incredibly promising. Okay, glass, balance me.
Shifting one side to the other.
Now, students like me have the tools to navigate the world outside the studio, whenever, wherever we need them.
Jennifer?
I was really touched by this one, guys. It was amazing. And I don't know if that's just because I get to do this award because I used to teach dance and I'm a sucker for anything in healthcare space and I live near Mark Morris. But aside from all that, it was absolutely incredible. I feel like you just completely nailed it in terms of empowering people and thinking about the human condition and the ability to really bring a thoughtful approach to not only managing illness, but empowering people going through it in their own space, on their own time, with new technology. It kind of hit all my marks on my judging criteria, so my radar was over here. So I'm really inspired by this, and I just want to thank you and encourage you to do a lot more because it's just wonderful. So thank you so much. Really.
So congratulations. Yes, bag and book, you know it. Great, so we are now going to be moving into bronze. We've got 3 bronze. And first, a little commercial break for our bronze sponsors.